Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakachadash, all praise, honor, and glory go to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of His Son Yahawashi. And our people, so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos, rightfully so, because we went against our power, can't let go of the wine of doctrines. And sometimes not always about the following different gods and idols and all those different type of things that we know directly is against the scriptures. But sometimes it's just wanting to always find the newest thing to do, the newest fad, try something different, go something's been working, have an ailment, have a challenge, and you want to go after looking at something different or something that was told to you either through social media or from word of mouth that tries to get you to experience some kind of change, when the only change our people really need is to turn back to their power, Yahawashi. And it got me thinking about how people love to just say anything. They don't really mean their words. They don't really hold on to what they say. Their yes is never yes, their no is never no. People talking riddles. And it made me think about this scripture right here, and I want to get some precepts with it real quick as well. But in Ephesians 4:29 it says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers." If you go over to the to the NLT, go to the NLT of the scripture. It says, "Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them." So when you are speaking and you're trying to relay a message and communicating, you want to be clear on what you're saying. Majority of our people, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos, don't take the time out to even think about the things that they're saying, the things that they're putting forth. They're either boggled down with their own mind and what they want, their own vanity, or they just don't have the sense of mind to stop and take a minute and really think about what they're saying. And because of that, our people are confused. And who's that come from? The so-called white man, the nation of Edom. It's pseudoscience. The way that he likes to reveal things and say things to people. The way he's never 100% honest. He's never telling the truth. There's always an angle. There's always a purpose that's on the left-hand side with everything he says and does. And because of that, our people are so confused. If you go over to the book of, if you go over to the word unwholesome, it takes you over to G4550, which is sapros, and it says rotten, putrefied, corrupted by one, and no longer fit for use, worn out, of poor quality, bad, unfit to use, worthless. So you see, when we pick up these different doctrines and drink on this wine of the so-called white man in America, we got to always understand that he was designed to be our enemy, designed to be our sword, designed to be the reason why we continue to go off. So our words should always be thoughtful, of trying to either build each other up or to not harm each other. Go deeper into that word, it's G4595, which is Sipho. And it says to make corrupt, to destroy, to become corrupt, corrupted, rotten. There's nothing about the so-called white man that he's bringing out that is helpful towards you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Latinos. But our people won't understand, and they continue to drink on that wine. If you go over to the book of Matthew 12:34 and 37, it says, "O generation of vipers, how can you being evil speak good things?" And that's that's him talking to the Pharisees, Yahawashi, you know, and that's our people. But who do we pick these things up from in these last days? It says, for out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. It said, a good man out of the treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. It says, but I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account there in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. And if our people really held on to this in their mind frame about everything they say and do, they really took that seriously, these scriptures seriously in that way, then, you know, they wouldn't find themselves in situations where they're putting their foot in their mouth, when they're speaking without thinking, where they're trying to hurt people with their words, while they're trying to how they're trying to always make themselves bigger than what they are with their words and their actions. Go over to the book of Slakia. If you go over to the book of Ephesians 5 and 4, says, neither filthiness nor foolish talking nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. You know, if you just giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahawashi for everything that you're going through, you know, even the tough times, the hard times, the things that we have to face in these last days that we really don't want to deal with. You know, we still got to give praise and honor to him, because he's the only reason and the only way we're going to get salvation from these things. So even though we have to go through the type of things that we have to go through because we're living in this flesh, and we built up all these different unclean practices and thoughts, we still got to give honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, His Son Yahawashi, because they're the only ones going to be able to deliver us from these things. Colossians 3 and 8 says, but now you also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. You know, this is what our people dabble in a lot. This is our vices that we use that gets us to do the things that we do in the flesh. You know, we're either angered, we have wrath, and we want revenge on situations. Malice, just have nothing but hate in our heart towards the situation. Speaking what we don't know, blasphemy, and just speaking filthy communication. And I'm not talking about cuss words. I'm not talking about speaking, you know, talking, making jokes. We're talking about actually going against these scriptures. You know, not holding on to what the scriptures say. So, in these last moments of these last days, our people are drunk on the wine of doctrine, and we know it's not going to change. We know the scriptures are only for the elect. Yet, you know, while I was pondering all these things, it just helped me to see that, you know, all glory and honor goes to Yahawashi, because he's going to deliver his elect out of all these things, even though we have to face these things, and even, you know, sometimes get tempted with it ourselves. So, continue just to do the work, continue to stop scoffing and mocking, continue to follow your heads, continue with the name of Yahawashi in your mouth. That's for every man, woman, and child, depending on your rank and where you're at in the order. And with that, just want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, teachers, preachers, priests, bishops that came before me and taught me this truth, starting with the apostles and elders, the great millstone. And Shalom, peace be to you, to his holy elect, which I pray on the number of, to next time, Yahweh willing.